Welcome back to Anisa Naomi TV. I had an entire script of what I wanted to share with you today. And as I was going over the script, there was something in me that said, I want to talk about this, but I don't want to talk about it like that anymore. I want to talk about it from where I am today, because when I wrote the script, I was in a different place, and now I am where I am. So I'm going to tell you about a flower, and I'm going to tell you about how a flower develops, and I'm going to share with you something that has been very loud for me lately. And my hope is that by the end of it, that you would have a revelation that you can apply to your life immediately. My hope is that by the end of it, that you would think something differently. Maybe you would be validated. Maybe you would find words for something that you haven't been able to find words for up until this moment. Maybe it is a bunch of BS to you and it doesn't land, and that's okay too. But I'm going to tell you about a flower, and not necessarily a flower as you would always see it, but I'll tell you more about a plant. Specifically, I'll tell you about 2 trees. There are 2 trees on our property, and every spring for the last 3 years, the tree in the front seems to bloom along with every other tree in our neighborhood. It's bright, it's vibrant, it's green, it blooms. The tree in the back, we always look back and say, is that dead? Is the tree dead? It doesn't seem to be blooming at the same pace as all of the trees in the neighborhood and everything around it. It must be dead. It's not producing, it must be dead. And there's space in our yard that I envision eventually turning into some sort of garden. And so I've been studying how a seed becomes a plant, and a plant produces a bud, and a bud eventually blooms. And this process of gardening and planting seeds, at every phase that the seed develops into a seedling and then takes root, and then there's a stem, and then there's a bud. At every single phase, there's a critical piece that allows for it to get to the next phase, and that is that the environment must be right. The conditions must be right in order for a seed to turn into a sprout, and a sprout to take root, and root to crop up a stem, and a stem to produce a bud, and a bud to unfold into a flower. At every phase, the conditions must be right. The conditions must be right for growth, for that of a flower, and I believe it's that same for everything that is in nature, human beings included. The conditions must be right for growth. I think we've lost the plot. I think the world has turned growth into a sport. The world has turned growth into performance. And when you turn growth into a performance, you can't help but to compare to other people. You're tracking metrics. Were you better than last week or yesterday or last year? When it's not a performance, it's an actual rhythm. And that growth comes in seasons, and some seasons are not right for growth. Some seasons are not right for flourishing. But if we can create the environment that is conducive to growth, then we work with our rhythms. We know when to till the soil. We know when to plant the seed. We know when to water it. We know when to give it sun and give it light. And we know when the harvest is going to come. But all of those seasons cannot happen at once. And when we take growth as performance, and we look at other people, and we look at someone who's in their harvest season, when you're in your tilling season, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Why do I have to till the soil right now? Why do I have to cultivate right now? Why do I have to plant? Why is it only a seedling right now? And why do they have a bloom? The thing about nature is that the tree that sits on the back of my property is not looking at the tree that sits in the front of my property saying, why can't I bloom yet? It knows that it will bloom when the time is right and when it is their season. I was reading in Ecclesiastes, and I believe Ecclesiastes 3 says that we're meant to be happy and to have joy and to find joy in our work and to eat and to drink and to be merry and to enjoy our work. We are made to work, to develop, and to enjoy the fruits of our labor. We are made to enjoy this creation that God put out here for us. And we're made to enjoy our work. So many of us think of our work as a means to an end, but what if we believed that we were supposed to enjoy it, and that the very thing that we enjoy, the thing that we see as a hobby, the thing that we see as just this little thing over here is maybe, just maybe, the way that God would like to provide for you. I believe that we all can agree that we can enjoy nice things and we can enjoy our work. When we don't realize that we're allowed to enjoy our work, we settle for work that doesn't fulfill us. We go into meetings and we go into rooms and we effort and we try to stand out and we work and we maybe pretend that we're somebody else when we're going into this environment, because we believe that if we pretend to be this way and if we position ourselves that way and if we undercut somebody else, if we compete in a certain way, that we will win, that we will outperform. And as a product of what it is that we do in this work environment, we're then able to go on fancy vacations. We're able to buy homes. We're able to have the cars. We're able to wear the clothes. We're able to show that we have success in this one arena by the way that we operate in another arena. The problem with this is that it is all a performance, and that when you are working as a performance and you're enjoying the fruits of your work as a performance, you're buying the labels, you're buying the cars that maybe you don't even want. You just think you're supposed to want it because maybe your bank account says that you can't afford this when maybe it doesn't. But because I have success in this arena, I have to show everybody else by the bags, by the clothes, by the shoes, by the vacation, by the neighborhood, by the hairstyle, by the makeup. I have to show them this. I have to perform out here, because if I don't, then they won't believe that I have the success over here. I have to show them that I am successful, and everything becomes performative. And when everything in your life becomes performative, then when do you get to be you? If everything in your life is a performance, then you always have a mask on. If everything in your life is a performance, then you get to the top, you get the promotion, your business explodes, you get whatever income level it is that you said that once you have this amount of money, once you have $1 million, $10 million, $5 million, whatever, once you have $100,000, once you make 6 figures, once you make 5 figures, whatever it is, once you hit that, then I'll be fulfilled. Then I can be myself. Then I'll have made it. And I think that's one of the reasons why our world and our society is so wrought with imposter syndrome. It's not because you don't deserve the things that you have. In fact, you've worked very hard for them and you are capable of the success and whatever your success demands of you, you are capable of. But we have this imposter syndrome because we're so busy putting on a front. We're so busy performing. We're so busy performing in our work life, performing in our home life, taking pictures of our relationship and performing for strangers on the internet, that it's no wonder we have imposter syndrome. It's not because of a lack of capability. It's not because of a lack of worthiness. It's not because we don't deserve the things that we have, but it's because we are performing in the first place. But what if we stopped performing? What if we believed that our sole purpose on this earth is to be successful at being successful, to eat and to drink, to be happy and to enjoy our work? Well, I believe that the way that we do this is by looking at nature. Nature grows and unfolds in seasons, in every stage of a flower's growth. From a seed to a bloom, at every stage, the environment must be right for growth. And if we believe that we're here to be happy and to enjoy our work, then every challenge, every misstep, everything that we must overcome is just a tool for our growth. And in the moments when we look at our neighbor, or we look at our friends, or we look at strangers on the internet, and they have something that we don't have yet, we used it as a compass to say, maybe that's something that I want. Maybe I can develop into that one day, but I'm going to trust that it's not my season. And in the meantime, I'm going to create the environment for growth. So how do we create an environment that fosters growth as human beings? We know for flowers and for nature, there's the sun, there's the water, there's the soil. But what does that look like for humans? I believe it's different for everyone, but it could probably all fall under these 3 umbrellas. For me, it's my faith. For me, it's my mindset. For me, it's my health. If I can unfold and I can develop in each of those areas, then I can be successful at being successful. And everything else is just extra. If I can spend time with my Creator and listen, if I can ask for things to be removed from my life that are in the way of me connecting with my Creator, then I can connect with Him deeper. And when I connect with Him deeper, then I can unfold in a different way when I'm met with challenges in my life, when I am going through a difficult challenge in a relationship, when I am working through something at my job, when I am trying to start a new thing that I feel like I've tried so many times and I'm wondering, is this going to be the time that it worked? That I can take that to my Creator and have a conversation about it and ask for things to be revealed about me that I need to work through, that I need to move out the way, and ask Him to move that out the way. And am taking care of my mindset and being observant of the way that I talk to myself, the way that I see myself, the way that I identify, and how it flows into everything that I do, if I can be mindful of that, if I can take captive of every thought and make it obedient, then I can get through and grow and develop in every way, at every stage, at every phase. I can create an environment that is ripe for growth by ensuring that my mindset is rock solid. And when I'm a good steward of my body and I take care of my health through gratitude in motion, what I call exercise, or through what I consume, what I eat, what I watch, when I take care of those things, then my body takes care of me. These are the three things that, to me, your faith, your mindset, and your health, that create the environment for your growth. They're the things that make it or break it. Too much of one and not enough of another, then you miss it. It's about balance, and in certain seasons you need more faith, and in certain seasons you need to up your mindset, and in certain seasons you need to focus on your health. But if you can find the rhythms and the balance of how those all play together, then not only will you create an environment for growth, when you become successful, when you reach your goals, when you get the things that you desire, you're not going to look up and say, I feel so empty, I don't even know who I am. Where are my friends? No, you'll have developed all of these things along the way, and it won't have had to cost you your life. So many people we look at are successful and they have no friends, their spiritual life is dead, their health is down the toilet, they lack fulfillment. And maybe that's one of the reasons why we fear success so deeply, because people who are rich aren't happy and people who are successful aren't happy. But what if you developed along the way? What if you chose to unfold in every stage? Because when you create the right environment for growth, you don't just impact yourself. You don't just grow in a silo. When you create an environment for growth, there's growth around you. When you create an environment for growth, it impacts your colleagues, your team, your husband, your partner, your children, your community. Women who prioritize these things prioritize themselves. And a woman who thinks highly enough of herself to say, I'm gonna put my faith first, I'm gonna put my mindset first, I'm gonna put my health first, has enough to pour into and to nurture and to let other people live out of her overflow. And so if you've been looking to grow and you've been trying, I believe that if you are here, you have been on a journey of personal development for some time now. And maybe you've hit a wall. Maybe you feel like maybe with the next thing, I just need the next thing. I just need the next thing. And you think that your next development is in the next thing. I want to offer you an additional visual to this plant, this flower we've been talking about. When a flower reaches the stage of a bud, the full flower is already in the bud. And the only thing left for the bud to do is unfold. You might be in your bud phase. You might be in your seed phase. You might be somewhere in between. But if you're looking around and you see people in full bloom and you're wondering, when is it going to be my turn? I want to encourage you to focus on creating an environment for the stage of growth that you're at, and trusting that at just the right time, in just the right season, you will unfold into a beautiful bloom.